Hey, St. Andrew family and friends, it's Pastor Jonathan here with your next video update for our new modern service. I hope you were able to catch last week's video about the why we are planning this new service. Yes, it's to appeal to some of our folks that are already here, but mainly it's to reach out. It's to reach folks who aren't currently being reached by our church service, as wonderful as it is. We're wanting to branch out a little bit and offer more choices. Today, I want to address the what this service is, what this service is going to look like, what the service is going to sound like. But I want to begin by saying what it is not. This new service is not going to be a rock concert. It's not going to be in a darkened auditorium with lights and smoke machines and lots of noise. That's not who I am, and that's not who we are as a church family. This service is going to be a lot more authentic to who we are as St. Andrew by the Sea. It's also not going to be worship light. It's going to be as theologically and worshipfully deep as our current traditional service is. It's also not going to be contemporary. We're going to not use that label because that label, it's not contemporary. It's about 20 or 30 years old. And of course, it's got some baggage associated with it too from the worship wars of 20 and 30 years ago. So we're not calling it contemporary. We're going to go with modern. So what is this service then? Well, for one thing, it's going to be fairly similar to what we're already doing in our traditional service. It's going to follow pretty much the same order as we do now. It's going to have the same scripture. It's going to have the same sermon. If we do communion at one service, we're going to do communion at the other service. If our liturgical dancers or our youth choir are going to sing at one service, they're going to sing at the other service. A lot of the same elements will be present in both services. It's also going to be in the same space. This service is going to be in the sanctuary as well. I'd like to say that if you're comfortable in our traditional service, I think you'll be pretty comfortable in our modern service as well. Now, with that said, we know that there are some people who haven't yet been reached who might not be comfortable coming to a more traditional service. And so we do want to make this service feel a little bit more comfortable, feel in some ways a little bit more informal. So some ways that we're going to do that, the pastors, Frank and myself and whoever else, will not be wearing robes, although I will be wearing my clergy collar most of the time. That's just me. I like that. I may be preaching from a different location, might not stand behind the pulpit all the time, might come out to the center or to the floor. And of course, we're going to encourage folks to kind of come as they are. We're going to make it feel just a little bit more informal for folks who need that. Probably the chief difference in this service is going to be the music. We will be playing more modern worship music, but we're also going to be playing some of the good old hymns. We've got a hymnal full of great old hymns that have wonderful theology, and we want to continue that as well. So we'll play some old hymns, but it'll just be played in maybe a more modern arrangement, a way that maybe some of our folks are used to hearing on the radio. So what is the music going to sound like? Right now, our plans are to start small. We're going to start with hopefully just a guitarist who sings. And we're still kind of talking with some folks about who might be good for that. But a guitarist who sings and who will lead us in song and encourage us all to sing along. And again, some of the more modern worship songs, but also some of the good old hymns just played in a little bit of a different way. It's our hope that as the service continues, maybe some of our folks in the congregation who have musical abilities will want to offer their time and their services to providing music as well. You know, hey, I can play bass, or I can play violin, or I can play saxophone, and getting kind of a Dave Matthews Band feeling from that. But that's our hope that over time maybe the worship team will grow. But we're going to start small. We're going to start with pretty much one musician that will lead us. But again, I just want to reassure all of you, it's not going to be a rock concert atmosphere. It's going to be worshipful. It's going to be true and authentic to who we are as a church family. I do want to encourage you to not view this new service as only for certain people. Don't view it as only for young people or only for young families. I would love this to be an intergenerational service, just like our traditional service is intergenerational. I would love for this modern service to be that way as well. In my experiences in previous churches, when we've had two different services, you would kind of look into the congregation and you would see very similar demographics at each one. And I would love for that to continue here. Church takes all kinds of people, all ages, to be the church, and would love to see that continue even in this new service. So above all, let's just remember our mission. Our mission as United Methodists is to make disciples of Jesus Christ for the transformation of the world, to be the church, to grow the kingdom, so that we can follow Christ in mending the universe together. And so excited that this service will give us more of an opportunity to do just that.